The Tale of Genji. Flower Feast. Murasaki Shikibu. Seohi in the main building of the spring night serving as a month orchid Temikura. However unexpected in my provisional route Akiko, there was a feast of cherry Shishinden on February 20 several days. Nakamaya and your sightseeing of the chambers of the Crown Prince has been provided on the left and right of the throne. Nyogo of Hiroshi Wadayan is that the house of Fujitsubo is to become Nakamaya. Although feel uncomfortable in each cage of something. Haunts of events not like. Was Viken in the Crown Prince's seat. Day sunny blue sky with color. The prince how to look at Nante to the feel the voice of the bird is also cheerful. People who make poetry including the luxury government people are all made the poem have gotten. Seigu Yun. Genji. Bestow the character of spring. But showed off the Yunzi to obtain the own. The voice is already superior to people. In the following the head lieutenant general. But Sunny this order seemed that it would be I think preferred. And told a very safe obtained was Yunzi. It was thought to be me to voice diction. Other people are like had been hesitation. Was often the grave attitude also voiced to things. Let alone the poet of the underground. Emperor even Crown Prince also a good writer of poetry. Also to become there you a good critic. Because I was often era of government people with shisai which is superior to the other. Embarrassed. Clean to go out into the wide garden. But it is of such little things seem to perplexities. Also to advance and retreat also place accustomed while the is shabby in their appearance. Such as doctor or closer is your compassion. Those who made this visit has been interesting oboshimeshi. Music that is so also especially good people who have been selected. Time the spring of long spring day is the time of finally enter state. Was danced interesting is dance of spring nightingale seizu. And oboshimeshi Gataku forget that Genji was clever of Naomi Aomi of autumn leaves moth. Crown Prince's sporting lend interpolation of flowers to Genji. Was by all means also Basa anxious to join in this dance. And Gataku resigned. But the passage of the spring nightingale seizu goes against the one swing very loose sleeves. Danced also Genji. Nobody follow hard his sophistication was also visible only to it. Sadaijin had Rakurui also forget reproachful. What did I do as head lieutenant general, or unexpected danced out early? Then there is the Lord said. A song called Yanagi Hanasono, which is longer than that of Genji. Danced very well or had been and is expected to practice such a thing. Thereby lieutenant general has given the Enzo Flowers feast that it is a rare honor that there of this that people were watching. Luxury of government who also at length, they were all dancing, but no longer know the skill of day after dark. Work of Genji even when it is cause of songs or easy was sorry. This is because the voice of praise to occur for each phrase. Doctors also I think very good saku this. Genji that are nothing but become the person is light even at a time like this. Fukin majesty is not neglected in oboshimeshi suwaki. Be attached to Nakamaya the beauty of excellent Genji stops in your eye. Nyogo of his mother of Crown Prince will have think you this person to wonder and will to be hated. In any mind, the interest is also something like this to Genji in the after it was also oboshimeshi and is the heart not regards to hiv. If one saw the appearance of a large person to flower soup also ya been placed in heart is. Although such a song is not intended should be a show you to anyone. Or will or why transmitted. Night feast of Nandan was over from dandruff. It noble are all leaving. Nakamaya and Crown Prince became quiet become your way to the palace of your residence. When up a bright moon, became the beautiful things as in the imperial palace of the spring night. Genji was charged with drunk from entering into the night duty stations while this was regrettable. Officials of palace circles also think that if you can pick up the opportunity to if close to Nakamaya in these late at night they by no longer sleeping. Genji has been tried asked softly the palace of Fujitsubo. Also doorway, such as calling the wife sits had been all closed gone. Tansoku, while still tried, walked to want to meet the unsatisfactory mind to the place of the narrow corridor of Hiroshi Waidian. Third mouth is free. Nyogo has since had been up to the night watch as it is after the banquet. Here also, such as wives was suggesting is fu no more a little. Have love also walk Ruru door in the back of the door. And there is no human sound. Genji think went you these unwary to the thing that depresses to the fate of men and women wrong. Was except for the middle and gently up to the edge. Nobody seems to have gone, the other slept. In seems youthful lady voice. There is a people come out to the doorway while singing the what each defunct resemble the Oborazukyo. Genji is suddenly happy, captures the sleeves. The woman in fu thinks scary. Creepy. Who? But he said, there is nothing in such a scary thing. And Genji is to say further. Deep reach and dimly not unexpected pledge of also entering the month knowing the pathetic night. And I whispered. Hugging people went quietly tightened three of mouth from down to the room. This unscrupulous intrusion person to amazed by the woman and how is can soft beautiful. In the example voice. People which is not known here. Had to say. Because I'm allowed to agree again to everyone. It will not be nan ni mo even atin. Let's quietly talk. Woman know that the Genji to this voice was no longer a little eerie. I do not want to callous while troubled when a woman thinks or thought that the breakup as it is with this woman Saridu had been too drunk. Genji. Or there was no power to the resistance while youthful and women fell to the place to fall into two people. Genji is attracted by the mind to lovely opponent. Then I thought painful from being prompted goodbye tonight Yuku and day out soon. The woman had been much less disturbed mind. Please by all means say. I whether it is everyone. Or what way can I do to increase the letter? Would not think that you the Korakiri. When Genji say things like, if the original of the grass also asked if such disappeared soon to float only world visit the flip. And Yaomu. There was a very shiny place to state that. So, what I said is I was heard as a spared effort to look whether it is of you. To say, also, wind blows what Oza says in the original between non-divided the one each with the do conceived. When was the relationship between the mind does not become annoying you think to. Is not that there is no need to become your hidden. Do you not know on purposer? Out before it Kira say that. Those who go to pick up Nyogo any more wives is Okidashi, since such as those who come down from their passes through the corridor. The Genji replace only the mark after fan without being calm the I got out of the chamber. Since tongue pot of Genji wife there were many. But there is also a woman that my husband woke up to the sound that went back to Akatsuki. You do not have a favor to bear walk. Always well it is dare what follows. Meaning to say by butted the elbow and hand in the companion is called. It had been posing his fu was asleep. Entered the bedroom was the Genji cannot sleep. It was a beautiful feeling of the people. It would be sisters of Nyogo. But no difference to 5 of you or 6 because I was a virgin. Does I shui but Prince of Mrs. and Head Lieutenant General has heard that a beautiful woman is like Kimi for that does not love, but would rather become able to experience an interesting love when they're with it. 6 of you is put to the concubines of Crown Prince had heard Tokishid. We should say that became a sorry thing when they're at that person. Knowing whether a Donahito of the daughter of Udaijin, which is also several people would be difficult. Person was a state in which the unexpected is the my longer meet. But why must be said that the mind is attracted also to be frequently considered as such will love. What H did not tell us about how to reciprocate the letter. For it was carried out of that which is not stunning as well. If there is no chance that always was in Fujitsubo. No also does not occur somewhat of contempt of sense to Nyogo of master in comparison with that was easy to exploit the last night of Hiroshi Waidian and it was. This day was a post-feast. Genji did not have the leisure of the body have been involved in the day. 13. Stringing this day the harp of the roll of the kodo of it was served. It was filled with peaceful mood, and yesterday's feast Nakamaya became come to Nanda in the time of the dawn. The person who broke in Ariake month of Hiroshi Waidian the liker would have went out the other imperial palace. The heart of Genji had flew to the better, but it was allowed spied commanded the witty Yokiyoshi and Waiguang, and Genji back toward the night duty stations. But the car had early come towards the Mikado of Imikita. Is there a place where smitten outen put everyone who has in the people of the home of Nyogo's how it will go, respectively. For of Major General right in such as a valve was found that it is members of the parents' home of Hiroshi Waidian of you. Sweet take ye come down from you. Just had may well be not was only ride wives. Such a car was their Santi. It was reported. Genji would remember the roaring of the chest, whether or knowing how many women by any method, whether or not supposed to be known its relationship to the father of Udaijin treatment to vary much as a son-in-law. So a good thing, because the person's personality nothing is also not known yet well. What would the marriage is dangerous? It not bear to be in this state relationship to say that I see is not progress. The keenly pensive and what to do Genji was sleeping while princess would be no matter how lonely. Had also Omoiya, the people of the hospital with a Q2 road since it is not go home many days. Fan that has been replaced is, which was stretched a Suki-sama cherry-colored a triple to each other to draw the month of the year in which the hazy at dark of the earth are also reflects its shadow to flow under. Not uncommon, although traces of domesticated use in the hands of the lady was left somehow. Genji beautiful state in which said that place the original of grass does not leave from the eyes. The world insidiously feels comfortable what tame Magi the whereabouts of Ariake of the month to empty them, and it had been written in a fan. The next morning Genji, while also appears not to go for a long time to Sadaijin house. A girl of article of the hospital is disturbing. It was back as you go from keepin soothing depending toward the Jitai. Second, it became beautiful and Waka Murasaki also the first moment I saw for the first time in 3 days was Kan's. If there is a charm, and also offers many of the found hard ladylikeness from the ordinary man. It is like going there to taste of Genji to be so datagayote ideal as expected. Since the strike in education is a man, somewhat docility is reduced as probably Sanuka. The point only Genjim crisis. The two, or let told that it was a court in 3 days. If you like to teach the Kodo, a day of Genji is go out and sunset. Even the Queen of Purple is thought less than stuff the girl heart. These days it is not associated habit. Not the like will forcibly Tomeo. Sadaijin housewife of Genji did not come out immediately by way of example. Surezure of Genji even if you are one person in the seat forever is. Feel the loneliness of hatching in the relationship with his wife. While strumming the harp, was singing the Tanihara or to sleep rather than at night. Sadaijin came. We're talking about, such as the Genji, it was interesting flowers of the feast. Until I become this year. We have seen the court of the emperor of the 4th generation. But, or can be a lot of now moderate poetry. And have all the wit of more of the music. The feeling of extension of the life was not that I am a fun to taste like to. But I because thank cormorants large. The expert and expert now. Will you, such as was the first time can be that you and best regards the appointment of the teacher. Elderly has decided felt like I'd also wait until I did not make such as training, especially for this time. It just was like ask us that would be helpful to a good musician of in with the court. Yanagi Hanasono of Head Lieutenant General foremost it is a spectacular was. I thought it was Shigei transmitted to future generations is to talk. But became it's on you if left on the history if you have please also show the dance in one hand too. Contemporary Ray praise proud of this range injure. I had this kind of talk. Railing began pressing while also eagerly instrumental ensemble back to come out also Valvin. Lieutenant General, you are thinking in mine that night. such as the short dream of Ariaki, had sent in a Yamashiku day. This April around to the concubines of the crown prince is the cause of the agony that the parents have decided of. Genji also was not necessarily did not tell one of the tellers what people at all. To the which was that how many women of Udaijin who do not know. A lover to the family of Nyogo of Wadine Hiroshi that does not have a deliberately favor to your that encourage and seek is being hesitation also would be no regards of respectability. Had just have piled up agony. Udaijin in March of 20 days too is the events of the game of Boji Tai. I invited a lot of early high-ranking officials of the Prince Hao Feast of Fuji Hanabi followed by it's supposed to be carried out on the same day. It's already past the other cherry prime. But there was that bloomed well only with two or had been taught bloom now after an expulsion of other new construction to be used in the saying deposition of the princess how the grandson is. There is a beautifully decorated reception hall. Nothing happened in flashy mansion was all modern taste. Udaijin but it did offer a mortar on the day that was in to court even of Genji. The day good looks of Genji is with regret to not show up to. Was out to pick a son of the four of Major General. What if our inn of flowers in the bead of color is now further wait for you? Is a song that gave to Genji from Udaijin. Genji is when I was in the Imperial Palace. I said this to the Emperor. I take it from good. Emperor turned to comedy, because it is home of the minister, which I hope and I want to become a force as a future brother for good. Grandson of the princess who'll go because he was also Taurus to use. Begone, such as, especially in the guise of a beautiful. Genji went awaited from long day late. Cherry color of China brocade heel. Pulling a long skirt under cassine red purple. To see it you are out to other people is wearing boric everyone dress. Genji is that the gloss of the temple-like appearance. A large number of people at one entered while being respectful to. Cherry blossoms of beauty seemed to had reduced suddenly at this time. From after the completion also play music. It is a hour and minute that night was dandruff a little. Genji stood gently seat while the seal suffering from intoxication of alcohol. Woman Ichinomiya in the middle of the main room. But it's so come live woman Sanomiya. Genji was more suffering to the bottom of the east of Sumato of mouth. Since the wisteria is in bloom in the garden between pairs of the edge and the east. The grid had been passed up everyone. The mist's eye was lined with wife. Overlap for a large line of cuffs that are put out to the outside of the people who seem the night haunt seed of Toka. Look and not be commensurate to things such as today. It is that there is nostalgic Genji sophisticated Fujitsu both side of the hobby seemed. The painful to correct obtained sake I am in trouble. Because waste is that I think that there is nepotism where I am a bullet in here of the temple like. Little Genji the upper body from the bottom of mistakes along the Sumato was put into. Troubled. Noble person of your identity. Such as you like well there is no one you say and relatives of nepotism. And the appearance of a woman to say. But omo emoshi of it is not. Just young wife and some of the good and the beautiful feeling of unexpected think elegances. Genji admitted. Takamono or have been hawk enough smoky. The sound of them a woman of clothing to stay stood in this room seemed to those glamorous. Modest place is missing. It looks luxury of flashy modern type. Since the daughter we have come to this area for sightseeing. Seems that Sumato as had been crimped. Lady has not been represented in assent to things like that have come to such a place. But seemed to be interesting as expected. Young Genji. Breast of Genji and anyone whether may distinguish the lover in this was Todoroi. See the eyes comes from being taken a fan. See the eyes comes from being taken the band to the Goryeo people. Who Tanish this saying had asked himself to miss? I know of Goryeo people has changed. One person say that would be of an unrelated daughter. Nothing sometimes without saying, is Genji toward where the man heard a sigh went by. Caught the hand in Kijo over. See she in month of the shadows and saw loose in the mountains of there. Azuzabo window wipe naho. I wonder why, and say to guesswork, or the person also cannot suppress the feelings. If not become who have heart to the moon, defunct empty Umahari stray is better yas. And was the Stonehenge. It is the same voice that was heard in the moonlit night of Hiroshi Wadayan. Although Genji is not should be pleased.